Hi there, Surya. Let's take a look at this new essay you have sent us. Okay, people becoming dependent on the internet and phone. Let's see if the benefits outweigh the disadvantages. Experts from developing and developed countries have debated on advantages and disadvantages of overusing here the internet and phone. This essay will argue that advantages not outweigh drawbacks, because online applications and mobile phones have made our life simpler and faster, even though these technologies have reduced face-to-face interaction. Okay, that's lovely. That's very good. And let's see. Yeah, so far so good. You're on the right track. Let's see how you develop this. There is ample, powerful evidence that the internet and phone can be detrimental, especially to the younger generation who are more easily affected by its, you mean here, addictive, not additive. Careful, two different words, different meanings, okay? So addictive. This is because the innovation of these sophisticated modern technologies, such as online media, such as online media, such as Facebook, Twitter, and mobile phones have reduced crucial face-to-face interaction dramatically. Let's clean up that sentence, okay? So, this is because I don't want to say innovation. I think you mean the invention of these sophisticated modern technologies, including online media such as Facebook, Twitter, and mobile phones, have reduced crucial face-to-face interaction dramatically. Okay? It's a better way of writing that. For example, recent scientific research by the UK government demonstrated that 90% of people in their 30s, you need an S at the end, spend over 20 what? You mean 20 hours per week? 20 hours per week on phones and online applications to chat with their friends instead of meeting and spending quality time together. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that there are some drawbacks of doing something, overusing the net and telephones. Okay, so what did you tell us that drawback is? You said that they've reduced face-to-face communication. You haven't really told us why that's so bad. You told us that Facebook, Twitter, and mobile phones have helped do this. You've shown us proof, you've shown us statistics that this is the case, but you haven't really told us why this is such a drawback. Okay, so while you've developed it well in terms of length, in terms of coherence and cohesion and structure, in terms of the development of the idea itself, it is really kind of lacking something. So, in other words, you don't really show us why face-to-face communication is so much better than internet communication or phone communication. And so we are left with some question marks here, all right? Let's keep going. Although there are significant drawbacks of the internet and phone, its multiple advantages cannot be denied. Nowadays, online communications, apps, and telephone have made our lives less laborious and give us more free time. Jobs that required lots of energy and time can be done at the touch of a button. For example, if we wanted to communicate in the past, we had to write a letter and take it to the post office and then wait for it to be delivered, whereas these days we can simply tap an email icon in our touch phone and send an email in seconds. Thus, lives have become fulfilling with the use of the internet and smartphones. Okay, I like that. I like everything you said about the email and comparing it to mail, but have you talked to us about dependence? And this is a really important thing. I want to remind you what the topic is here. We become dependent on these. And so what I'm finding a lot of students doing with this essay is that they're talking about the benefits of the internet and phone and the disadvantages of the internet and phone. But that's really not what this essay is about. It's really about dependence. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? All right, and that's what we need to be talking about, this dependence that we have on these. So, in other words, if you don't have access to your smartphone or the internet, are you able to write a letter? If somebody were to say to you, hey, look, you can't have this modern technology, you're going to have to write a letter. Would you be able to do that? Do you know the conventions of writing a letter? And so that's where you have to ask yourself, well, is this a disadvantage of becoming dependent? Do people know how to do these things anymore? All right, so that's really what the focus of this essay needs to be about. The dependence on these devices rather than the benefits or the drawbacks of the devices themselves. Okay, so let's talk a little further. Let's take a look at your conclusion. Excuse me. From the arguments and examples given, I fully agree that the advantages of the internet and mobile phones far outweigh disadvantages. Do you see what you did here? You just said it. The advantages and disadvantages of the phone. But we're talking about the dependence, okay? Remember that. Keep that in mind. It is predicted that life will become easier and better with more and more use of the technology such as the internet and phone. All right, so I think you understand what has gone wrong here. I thought it was a really well-written essay in terms of the coherence and the structure and the cohesion, and even the grammar was good. The vocabulary, you had words like less laborious. I mean, that was lovely, okay? That was really, really good. All of it was very nice. However, I think where the problem comes in is because of this task achievement. That's one thing, that you really didn't talk about the dependence, but you talked about the benefits of the devices or the disadvantages themselves. Now, let's talk about one other thing which really is important in understanding the task. Benefits and disadvantages. So, plural benefits, plural disadvantages, which means that each of your paragraphs has to talk about more than one benefit. Okay, so what did you tell us here was the disadvantage? I think you said that we are unable to have face-to-face communication. So that was one disadvantage. Here, when you talked about the benefits, you said it made our lives less laborious and gave us more free time. So again, you've talked only about one advantage. All right, unless I misinterpreted it. You're free to argue that you maybe said more than one, maybe in an indirect way. That's possible. But just keep in mind, an examiner is going to be looking for this kind of thing, okay? So it's important to have benefits plural and disadvantages plural. All right, so those are the two kind of weak points that I found. Both of them were in the area of task achievement, so I really, really want you to look out for those in your following sets of essays. Other than that, I thought this was really well done. All right, so let's take a look at what you have here now for your task 2, which is your cover letter. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so here we go. To whom it may concern, I am writing this letter to express my interest in the position of senior software engineer, which was posted in Times Job on this date. I have completed my bachelor's degree with first-class honors in computer science from Untitled University, capitalize your U, as well as a master's degree in advanced software engineering from Toronto University, where I did a project on e-commerce website development. Full stop here. Further to this, I have been working as a senior software engineer since I joined my current company, IBM Canada. My current responsibilities are developing software codes for the new websites and delivering all projects within the deadline. In fact, is 2 words, okay? I worked in some big e-commerce projects such as Amazon and Flipkart, which makes a suitable candidate for a developer role in your organization. Okay, so far this is really, really wonderful. You've done a really nice job. What I'm stopping now is to talk just about this sentence here, okay, which started with in fact. In fact, like I said, is 2 words. In IELTS, when you're doing your essay writing, there are certain words I never want to see, okay? And the words that I really don't like seeing in essays or in letters is big, small, nice, good, bad. They're just so generic and so basic and really just imprecise that I really want to see people avoiding using them in their writing section, okay? There's so many more specific words that you could use that would just make this so much richer, okay? So you could say, I worked in some complex e-commerce projects, or I worked in some challenging e-commerce projects, or I worked in some large-scale e-commerce projects. Any of those adjectives would have been appropriate, and they would have been far more descriptive than just the word big, okay? Then, the other problem with this sentence is right here, which makes me a suitable candidate for a senior developer role in your organization, okay? You're just missing a word there. I have been compelled to participate in the software industry since I was studying in the university, so my enthusiasm for this industry is very high, not so high. Now, clearly here you're trying to complete the second bullet, all right, and that's clear. I do think you could have said something else to us. It's not just enough to say that you're enthusiastic, but show us your enthusiasm, okay? It's just like with task 2. It's not enough to just say something, you have to support it. So how could you support your enthusiasm? You could say something like, I have completed XYZ certification course for this particular software package. Okay, so it's really important to just support it, all right? Don't just, answer each bullet with like one sentence to be done. Develop it a little more. Okay, so moving on. Please attach my resume, and I look forward to discussing this opportunity. Yours faithfully, lowercase f here, and then your name. All right, let's see here. So you were supposed to talk about possible qualifications. You did. You talked about your degree. You talked about your energy enthusiasm. We said that this was a little weak. You need a little more. Your past experience. You talked about that here. So you did all of that. So the one area that was a little weak was here, that second bullet. Okay, so let's see. Maybe you could have added something a little more here in your closing as well. You said, please attach my resume, and I look forward to discussing this opportunity. I think you could have added something else here. Something just kind of wrapping things up, something like a conclusion. Just for all the above mentioned reasons, I am very eager to work in this position for your company. My skills and background make me a suitable candidate. Please feel free to contact me for further information. So just a little more development, okay? These are some of the conventions of writing a cover letter, where we do kind of like to fluff it up a little bit. So that for me was missing. I felt like the end was kind of sudden. All right, so again, what we're dealing here with is a little bit of task achievement. Other than that, I thought this was really, really well done. Okay, so that's what I want you to think about when you go to prepare your next set of essays for us. We'll be here, we'll be waiting, so I'm looking forward to seeing them. Good luck.